Day 3 of our seasonal job is beginning. So I believe these are the emails that we saw last time. Yeah, Rodney said heads up. Pest control's been panicking. Twilight report. It's not looking good. But what does look good is our cheer level, which is still at 100%. Entering one day until Christmas. And, hopefully we can keep it up. Let's clock in. Alright, so we do have a few more locked entries. Let's see what our final entries are. Oh, no Carol?
Here, HSH Pest Control, listen up. The Mouse King is loose, and it's our understanding he means to stir up trouble of the Yuletide variety. My boys are working around the clock to find him and stop him in his tracks before things get too hairy, but sometimes things slip through the cracks. Little things, if you get my meaning. If you hear anything strange, let us know as soon as you can. There's new data coming your way, read it carefully. Keep those eyes peeled. Hudson out.
Oh, well, this is the first time we've been called from someone from Pest Control. The Mouse King, you say? Is that why we've had two mouse calls so far? Alright. Let's see what the new data is. Alright. Bellsnickle. Oh, isn't this jolly? Bellsnickle is a human-shaped, pine-based life form that's known to visit on winter nights, adorned in animal furs and a wooden mask bearing a friendly visage. Homeowners experiencing a bellsnickle often report break-ins, finding berries, sap, pine needles, scratch marks on the floor, or dead pets. What about the... Hello?
We need someone to come check our house for damage. I think I felt an earthquake last night. And this morning, I noticed those godless Hendersons across the street crying about something with the police. So I'm fairly sure whatever happened must have been enough to damage our property.
The godless Hendersons, you say? Okay. So he thought he felt an earthquake. People across the street were talking with the police. Some sort of explosion?
Please hold.
Well, first let's take a look at these other entries, like the gift hag. Well, the gift hag is a humanoid creature somewhat resembling an elderly human woman with a smiling face covered in soot or soil. It's known to quietly slip into homes during the winter and often leaves behind trinkets such as makeshift dolls, wooden idols, sharp twigs, or rocks. Alright, doesn't seem like a problem. The Hunt. Storm-like fungal weather phenomenon that carries with it large quantities of infectious snow-like spores. Homeowners caught in the hunt commonly report thunder, blizzards, electrical outages, violent or erratic behavior from neighbors. The winds can cause trees to break or fall, dangers such as property damage, electrical outages, or fires. The hunt's spores, if ingested, can cause unpredictable and hazardous symptoms in humans such as color blindness, physical deformations, and cannibalistic desires. Huh. The locomotive? The locomotive is a large, segmented, train-like organism. You never want to see the words train-like organism. That can only be seen by animals and human children. It's known only to appear after nightfall after the 21st of December. Homeowners affected by the locomotive often report the floor rumbling at night, distant whistling, snow falling in strange patterns, or missing children. The locomotive is harmless to human adults, but can prove particularly harmful or even fatal to human children if they choose to enter its domain. Children bearing sufficient faith are known to return the following morning, however. There is no known solution for removing the locomotive from an occupied area while it is stopped. However, the locomotive only remains in one location for a few minutes at a time to attract its prey, before it will move on to other territory on its own. To prevent harm, children and pets should be supervised or kept indoors. Well, this sounds kind of like what Whittaker's talking about. He said he thought he felt an earthquake, and it does say that when the locomotive arrives, you will report the floor rumbling at night. Oh, after the 21st of December. Well, I mean, this game has taken place after the 21st of December. The godless Hendersons crying to the police. So maybe the Henderson child got on the train and did not come back the following morning because the child did not have sufficient faith. I feel like this is what they're talking about. Let's keep looking at other entries, though. But I feel like this is what we got. The Mouse King. That just looks like a regular mouse. The Mouse King is a prominent member of a traitorous clan of mice. Traitorous to what? Known for recruiting and leading them in nefarious activities such as riots, heists, and assassinations. Homeowners with the Mouse King often report sounds of squeaking, scratching, and seeing strange mice behaviors, such as mass coordination or attempts at communication. The Mouse King poses an incredible threat to all living things, and its destruction should be immediately prioritized. The Mouse King should be stopped at all costs by any means necessary. Homeowners are highly encouraged to use lethal removal methods, including but not limited to mouse traps, toxic sprays, sharp implements, or any licensed firearms. I wonder if the Mouse King is the previous employee who was trying to warn us in the base game. I mean, it sounded like he was got by a cat. He might have survived. It's possible. Perchta. Perchta is a large humanoid creature vaguely resembling an elderly human woman with a beak-like nose and large sheet-like skin. Perchta is known for entering homes full of refuse, chaos, and filth. Homeowners experiencing Perchta often report break-ins, nightly sounds of clattering, and shed skin on the floors. Incredibly dangerous to homeowners, utilize nearby humans as makeshift scarecrows to keep other pests at bay. Most human adults do not usually survive this process. I like that. I like the inclusion of the word usually there. The Saint. The Saint is a warlock, sometimes resembling a bearded, elderly human male adorned in thick robes, seen riding a pale, horse-like creature. The Saint is known for traveling through snowstorms at night, leaving strange artifacts on the doorsteps of homeowners. Often, the Saint's arrivals are followed by the Sinner shortly afterward. The acceptance of the artifacts granted by the Saint, by bringing them within one's home, can often result in the gift receiver experiencing great fortune and luck for a span of 30 years. After the 30-year period, the Saint will return to collect their due. It is not advised to accept these gifts. While the Saint cannot be prevented from delivering their gifts, homeowners can simply remove the gift from the doorsteps and burn them outdoors to prevent accidental acceptance. Do not accept the gift. Who is the Sinner? The Sinner is a large bipedal goat-like creature known for breaking into homes and devouring human children, usually arriving after a snowstorm has passed. Homeowners often report the sounds of chains or hooves, broken doors or windows, and missing children. The Sinner is highly dangerous to human children that cross its path, as it is known to ravenously attempt to devour them on sight. Human adults that are too large to eat are not usually at risk, unless they attempt to come between the sinner and its feast. The sinner will not enter the homes of those with a gift from the saint at their doorstep. As such, it's highly advised to not remove the gifts on the night of a snowstorm. Okay. And the last one we have is the white. Whites are a misshapen form of humans that have been exposed to effects of the hunt, coming in a variety of unfortunate bodily configurations. Whites are known for their wild and unpredictable violent behavior. Homeowners experiencing whites often report sounds of gurgling, coughing, or hacking. Whites are highly dangerous and will attempt to bite or otherwise harm most humans and animals on sight. Their relative speed and strength can widely vary, though most direct encounters are fatal. Okay. Well, looking at the options, like we were saying, it sounds like Whittaker is reporting a case of the locomotive. Sounds like it matches, checks a lot of boxes here, matches up. We'll go with locomotive. Have a nice day. All right. So, our database is completely filled out. And we've been given information that the Mouse King is making a move, so we might see more mice-related calls on day 3. I was wondering if the Mouse King was going to have, like, a little crown. He is not wearing a little crown. Hello?
I have been robbed. Someone broke into my house and completely cleaned out the fridge and cabinets last night. There's wine all over my floors, discarded milk jugs. It's absolutely disgusting. I demand a refund for this useless home security package you people sold me. It's only good for hearing thieves cackle after the fact.
Okay. Ate all the food in the fridge and cabinets, wine all over the floors, discarded milk jugs. Apparently, the home security package didn't work. He could hear the sound of laughter.
Please hold.
All right. Who's laughing? It's not animation. Antler growths is not going to break into your house. Attic gnome? I don't think this is. Yeah, that's not them. Avalanche? No. The bats? No. The bed hag? No, the bed hag is just really related to the bed. Bed teeth? No. The bell snickle? Let's see. It does break in. It'll kill your pets. It leaves berries behind. And it really doesn't say anything about ransacking the kitchen. The black mold's not going to do it. The bogarts, if you have a bogart, it's a bigger problem than just your house, your food getting eaten. Carbon monoxide, no. The cloch, no. That's just damaging your foundation. Closet labyrinth, it's not going to be that. The hobs don't wreck your kitchen. Dorcha's the one who delivers. I don't think anyone would be calling if Dorcha was here. The dwarves? So no, they might show up in your basement, burrowing inside. Elves, you need to be throwing a party for them to come around. Fey feast, fey flu, false artifact. No, false carolers. They don't come in your house. They also don't laugh. The forgotten bogart? No. Fracture hob, frost wisps. No laughter here. Frozen pipes. The gift hag. The gift hag doesn't steal your food, does she? No. No, I don't believe so. Hans? What does Hans do again? No, Hans stays in your house. He occupies. Not horde, not house fires, not house spider. The hunt? No. Not gonna. I mean, maybe someone infected with the hunt, but not the hunt itself. The kobold? I don't think they... Do they laugh? I don't think they do. It also doesn't mention robbing your kitchen. The lamp sprite? No. The laundry gnome? Not the locomotive. What about... No, Lucy leaves slime. The mayor? The mayor does not... The mayor wants your food. But it doesn't come inside unless you let it. Approaches the entrance of homes after dark. Consume large amount of homes' food and beverages if invited inside. It does make sounds of wailing, screeching, or singing, but that's not... It's not the same as cackling. And the way this makes it sound like it can't come in unless you invite it. And Nick's not talking about that. The mayor would want to eat all the food. But if it wasn't invited in, can it eat the food? Memory wisp, it's not going to be that. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's mice. Maybe they're being led by the Mouse King. It's not going to be Mountain Warlock. Looking at the Mouse King again. Squeaking, scratching, mass coordination. Mentions cackling. That's not the same as mouse squeaking, though. Would you really hear that as a cackle? I don't think it would be described as a cackle. Still, they could, if you had a bunch of mice working together, they could clear out the kitchen. And a home security system probably would not stop them because they're so small. It mentions riots, heists, assassinations. I mean, it could possibly be, but this description really doesn't talk about robbing your kitchen and cackling. It's possible. Because the squeak might sound like a cackle, and the organized group of mice could raid your kitchen. I feel like there's not enough specifics there. Neighbor's doorway? Yeah, it's not that. The night gnome? It's not that one. The ogress? Ogress is a bigger problem. Yeah, it's gonna wreck your house if it comes in. Perchta? Perchta does not... I mean, your house has to be a wreck for Perchta to want to come in. Perchta will break in, though, if your house is filthy. It doesn't mention eating your food. Pine sprites? No. The pipe hob? It's not going to be that. The puka? This thing kills your pet and pretends it's your pet. Raccoons? I mean, raccoons will ransack your food if you let them. It mentions garbage cans, nests, and attic. It's not impossible that a bunch of raccoons could ransack your kitchen. I feel like there's nothing directly connecting it, though, here. Reanimation? It's not gonna be that. It's not gonna be Red Nose. The Saint, he does not come in your house. The Sinking Foundation, well, I mean, it does not come in your house. Your house goes into it. The Sinner? Well, it'll break into your house, but it'll eat your kids. It doesn't mention anything about eating your food. Okay, I don't hear a cackle, and it doesn't describe a cackle. It will aggressively break into your house. It does not mention it'll eat your food. It says it'll eat your kids. It comes during the night of a snowstorm. It does not mention a snowstorm in this call. Snow golems? It wouldn't be this. Could they even eat your food? They're snowmen. Sugar wisp? No. Time wisp? No. The twilight? No, but the twilight might be a problem if we can't do a good job. The trash gnome? Let's see. Right, so smell of rotten eggs, clumps of fur, tipped garbage cans, loud crunching sounds. They go into your trash, not the fridge and cabinets. The troll? No, they want your clothes. Warlock remnant? Objects moving on their own, hostile warning whispers, sighting bearded figures, nothing about eating your food. The white? Sounds of gurgling, coughing, or hacking. Attempt to bite or harm most humans and animals. Doesn't mention eating your food. Gurgling, coughing. It's like a cough. It's not a... I don't think that sounds anything like a cackle. A wine sprite? Well, the wine sprite gets in your wine. It doesn't do anything else. It does mention wine all over the floors, but they also say completely cleaned out the fridge and cabinets. That's not what the wine sprite does. The wine sprite drinks your wine and can infect you with Fey flu. Winter fur, no, that's a condition you can get. It's not like an animal or anything. The wood secretions, no, that's a condition your desk could have. The Yule cat. It eats fabrics, and doesn't sound like it cackles. The Yule goat? It's not an actual goat. The Yule men? Okay. Stolen food, sounds of clattering or giggling. So they do break in your house, they will steal your food, and they will laugh about it. This sounds like it. This sounds like it's probably this. This matches a few things that Nick is saying. I don't think anything else does. So I think we're going with Yule Men on this one. Enjoy your info packet on Yule Men. The Yule Men will typically leave a home once they're satisfied with their taking. If you don't want them to come in, board up your windows and the chimneys. Just do that. When Christmas season comes around, board up the windows so the Yule Men cannot rob you.
It's in my cornflakes. It's in the ceiling. It's in my coffee.
It's in my food processor.
Wallpaper. Oh, please, make it go away. Make this godforsaken demon go away.
All right. In the cornflakes, in the ceiling, in the coffee, he is. It's in the wallpaper. Make the demon go away.
Please hold.
So, something that could be everywhere, or maybe it's a feeling of dread. The time wisp makes you feel a feeling of dread. Immense existential dread. Intense anxiety or stress. But he's specifying a demon that's everywhere. It could possibly be this. Could possibly. I'm not sure about that, though. Okay, so of the things we saw, what did Yule Goat do again? Sightings of goats, sounds of bleeding. And the apparitions that can occur in a home. Sighting shapes of goats through the house. Oh, can cause paranoia. It might be this. The Yule Goat is capable of appearing in a variety of means throughout a house. Like, in this case, on your toast. He doesn't mention any goats. But he mentions seeing that demon everywhere. And if they're around for a while, you can start being paranoid and suffering sleep deprivation. Yeah, that might be this. I have a feeling it's this one. I think it matches pretty well. Sir, you've got a case of Yule Goat. So you're gonna need to offer a humble offering of wheat or straw as an appeasement. I feel like he's not going to be satisfied with that answer, but hopefully he follows the instructions. Hello?
Everything is shaking! Please, send help!
Ma'am? When you say shaking, do you mean like as in an avalanche? Or as in a sinkhole? Is something falling on you, or are you falling on into something? I need more detail, ma'am. So, okay, if everything is shaking, there are a few things that could be that. Avalanche, of course, as we know, could be that. But there are some other things, like, Actually, did clock damage your foundation? Let's see. Feeling of instability and sinking. Ground in the center of the formation will gradually sink lower, damaging a home's foundation, preventing homeowners from leaving. It sounds like this is a very slow process, not something that is going to happen immediately. The main thing I was thinking of was... Let's see, what was it called? There it is. Sinking foundations are structural problems in the home's foundation with a wide variety of causes that can lead to homes being damaged over time or eventually sinking and collapsing entirely. Homeowners experiencing sinking foundations often report cracks in walls or ceilings, uneven floors, or drains not working properly. Sinking foundations present a severe and mortal danger to a home and its inhabitants, as their instability and eventual collapse cause a wide variety of hazardous situations to those entrapped within. Now, it could be this. But I feel like this is slow. I feel like whatever's happening with her, it's something that is happening pretty quickly and unexpectedly. And I feel like sinking foundation, you're going to notice that the house is sinking before you actually get to this point. Okay, so if we just go through these again, it's not going to be animation. Not going to be antler growths. We haven't gotten antler growths yet, but it's not that. Attic gnome, avalanche. What if it was avalanche again? Can I hear anything in the background?
Everything is shaking! Please, send help!
Well, I don't think that really sounds like this. It could actually be that. It could actually be avalanche again. What are the odds, though? What are the odds? We know who causes the avalanches. It is the mountain warlock. I don't hear the mountain warlock. I don't hear his voice. Like, I think that's the thing that we really have to keep our ears open for if we can hear the sound of the Mountain Warlock's voice. But this call is not long, and she's talking over the background noise, so we can't really hear anything.
Everything is shaking! Please, send help!
The only thing she says is that it's shaking. Now, of course, the Mountain Warlock does cause shaking. The earth-shaking incantation... So it's not just an avalanche, but the earth-shaking incantation could cause severe damage to a home's foundation. So it could possibly be that the house is, like, falling into a sinkhole, but it was caused abruptly by the Mountain Warlock. We don't get much information here. As far as what any of these things could be, like, sinking foundation seems too slow. The clock does not seem like it's a fast thing either. That seems very slow. I don't... like, there are things like dwarves which will damage your foundation, but, like, this is not something that's causing everything to collapse all at once. Or shaking. It's not going to cause shaking.
Everything is shaking! Please, send help!
I think we can hear the sound of the avalanche. Like, it's hard to tell because she's talking over most of it. But I think we can hear the avalanche sound behind her voice. They gave us mice twice. It might be avalanche twice. You see, I would want to pick Mountain Warlock, but I'm just not hearing the voice of the Mountain Warlock in this call. And I don't think I can pick Mountain Warlock unless I get some information that implies that there's a guy singing or yelling, and we're just not getting that. And we hear the sound of the avalanche. I think it's gonna be Avalanche for a second time. Alright. Give me Avalanche. I hope you enjoy the information advising you to stay indoors. Wait for the avalanche to pass, please. She'll be alright. She'll be fine. If I gave her the right information, that is. Hello?
Hudson here. Pay attention. I've got word from the boys that the Mouse King was last seen wearing a disguise. I repeat, the Mouse King has gone incognito. Be on the lookout for any conspicuous individuals of a rodent-adjacent variety. Hudson out.
He's wearing a disguise. Rodent adjacent. I mean, is the Mouse King the size of a mouse? If so, what kind of disguise could he be wearing? Rodent adjacent, you say? All right, we'll keep that in mind when we listen to these calls, and just try to figure out if someone is disguised as if the Mouse King is disguised as someone. I don't know where they're going with this, honestly.
Hey, I think some kind of wild animal's in my house. Our poor wooden floors are scratched to hell and back, and there's a bunch of sap and needles and stuff littered around the place. Please, could you send somebody over to find this thing and get it the hell out of my place? Hey, sit quiet, boy. Sit down, hey!
All right. So, the dog is barking. Floors are scratched, sap and needles and stuff littered around the house. Who am I thinking of? Was it Perchta? No, you wouldn't survive Puchta. Sorry, combining these two names, you would not survive Perchta. It's not. I don't think it's Puka either. Even though there was a dog in that call, but I don't think that's the behavior that the dog is exhibiting. The gift hag? Was that it? No, this is twigs and rocks. No pine needles. There was, of course, the pine sprite. Rustling sounds, finding pine needles and sap. Cause fires or electrical shortages. It's not quite this, though. Because it mentions the floors being scratched. There's sap and needles, which does match the pine sprite. But it also doesn't mention anything about an animal being agitated by the presence of the pine sprite. So the pine sprite doesn't do anything unless you agitate it. And it can't damage your floors. Alright, let's see. Who might be doing something like this? Oh, hold on, Belsnickel. Let's see. Breaks in, sap and pine needles, scratch marks on the floor, or dead pets. They don't pose any mortal harm to humans, but they lash out at those they perceive as wrongdoers. Their presence can be highly hazardous to any furry mammals or pets in the house, should they require more pelts. The berries they occasionally leave behind are both safe to eat and delicious. Belsnickles will usually pass through a home, move on to others by the end of a single night. Multiple visits to a single home are rare, but more persistent visitations may be a sign of troublesome moral activities occurring inside the home. Wow. Belsnickle is judgy. Alright, it sounds like it's going to be this. Floors are scratched. Sap and needles and stuff around the house. The dog does not like it. Alright. Ma'am? Dorothy? You've got a case of Belsnickle. Multiple visits to a single home are rare, but, ma'am, if Belsnickle keeps visiting your house, then you might be up to some troublesome moral activity. I'm not, look, I'm not judging anything here, but Belsnickle is. Wonder what the berries taste like. Also, Dorothy, you can certainly sample those berries. Let me know how they taste. Hello?
Please, you have to help me. I think my husband has joined some kind of cult. He's not acting like himself lately, and I found what looked like satanic symbols in the attic, along with what looked like a scarecrow in the center.
All right. Well, we did see an entry about scarecrows. It's Perchta. All right. So let's look at this. Homeowners experiencing Perchta often report break-ins, nightly sounds of clattering, shed skin on the floors. Perchta is incredibly dangerous to homeowners inhabiting its chosen domains, utilize nearby humans as makeshift scarecrows to keep other pests at bay. Most human adults do not usually survive this process. Perchta cannot be easily or safely removed from a home it is claimed. Advice for homeowners to immediately vacate the premises. Actually, this doesn't sound exactly right. It says she's saying that her husband's acting weird. She found satanic symbols in the attic and a scarecrow-looking thing. Perchta will turn a person into a scarecrow. So this is not quite right. Not going to be Ogress, because she'll destroy your house. Oh, maybe it's the Mouse King. The Mouse King up to his old tricks. Look, they got to be going somewhere with the Mouse King. I don't know where they're going with that yet. They got to be something. Okay. Maybe, okay, so someone who could impersonate a loved one and leave satanic symbols around. Hans can occupy people. Let's see. Homes occupied by Hans commonly suffer symptoms such as the appearance of strange markings, the faint sounds of rustling, or occupants suddenly behaving abnormally. While Hans does not directly harm those he crosses paths with, Hans can negatively impact the lives of homeowners should he complete the process of occupation. Occupied human adults may commit acts they do not condone, including more hazardous behavior such as murder, debauchery, and arson. Homeowners should swiftly evacuate any home suspected of Hans's occupation. Should a family member or loved one be successfully occupied by Hans, it's advised to contact pest control. It sounds more like this. So Hans can occupy a person. That person will start acting in some sort of depraved manner. There can be the appearance of strange markings. Oh, and she also mentions the scarecrow. And Hans is a human-shaped husk of cloth, rags, and straw. Okay, yeah, so it's... The scarecrow is Hans. Also, just as a side note, I do like the idea, looking at this photo, that, assuming this isn't a Photoshop, that someone put this together, like assembled Hans here, put him outside, and took a photo through a screen door. I like the idea of someone doing that. It's gotta be Hans. Ma'am, your husband's got a case of Hans. You need to contact HSH's Pest Control Services immediately. I don't know what they're going to do to your husband, ma'am. Hello?
Our house is falling apart. The floorboards are cracking, the doors aren't closing properly, and nothing is draining anymore. Something very strange is happening, and I suspect it has something to do with my neighbor's renovation project. I've been seeing people hauling around giant rocks all week. Who knows if they damaged something on my property?
Giant rocks, okay.
Please hold.
So this is probably the Koch. Description. Koch are large circular stone formations known to appear around homes during the winter. Homeowners with Koch often report clear skies, a feeling of instability, and sinking. Cloch are highly hazardous to homes and their inhabitants, as the ground in the center of the formation will gradually sink lower until a deep pit is formed, damaging a home's foundation in the process and preventing homeowners from leaving. Homeowners wishing to prevent damage to their home are advised to seek the aid of the ones conducting the Cloch, bringing either an offer of gold or their firstborn child. If no negotiations are possible, it's advised to vacate the home as soon as possible. Alright, let's think about this. House is falling apart. Floorboards are cracking, doors aren't closing, nothing is draining. So, let's see. Ground in the center of the formation will sink lower until a deep pit is formed, damaging a home's foundation in the process. Something has to do with the neighbor's renovation project. Seeing people hauling around giant rocks. It sounds like this. Because of the giant rocks. But is there anything else that giant rocks would... Is there anything else that giant rocks could be part of? Neighbor's renovation project. So, it says here that the stone formations just appear around homes during the winter. They weren't there before, now they are. And now the workers are moving the rocks? Is there anything else that would fall under the category of will destroy your formation and also there's rocks involved? See, dwarves. Let's see. Rock-like creatures known for creating and living in underground burrows, sometimes extending their territory into human homes. Homeowners with dwarf infestations report increased heat in their home, clanging or clattering or banging sounds, finding rubble. Okay, this does not sound like it can cause foundation or structural problems. It does, so foundation and structural problems are happening, but does not mention anything about clattering or banging sounds, finding rubble or holes in the basement. Doesn't sound like it. Not going to be the Horde. Or the Hunt. Maybe it's mice. Just to remind ourselves about Ogress. Ogress will see fit to visit a home if they fail to acquire their targets through other means. Due to their size, the entrance into a home can prove catastrophic. Okay, so, I mean, you would notice if she was coming in. Your house is going to get destroyed, but you'd see the Ogress. There's sinking foundation. Well, this one does mention drains not working properly. Floorboards are cracking. This mentions uneven floors. Doors aren't closing. Doesn't mention doors here. Nothing's draining. Drains don't work. You see, it might very well just be a mundane thing, like the sinking foundation. Maybe it isn't supernatural. Something strange is happening. Something has to do with the neighbor's renovation project, hauling around giant rocks. Man, I don't know. The neighbors... Seeing people hauling around giant rocks at the neighbors. But if that was the case, wouldn't the neighbors have the problem? This specifically says nothing is draining, and sinking foundation says drains are not working. Like, that's the main thing that's catching me here. The fact that they specifically included that the drains are not working. Something strange is happening. Have to do my neighbor's renovation project. Like, it sounds like the neighbor has cloch, not Denise. Denise maybe just has sinking foundation. I feel like this is a trick question. I just don't know which way the trick is going. Or maybe it's the Mouse King all along. It doesn't sound like there's anything rodent adjacent in this. So she doesn't mention anything about clear skies. Instability and sinking. She doesn't mention instability and sinking. She doesn't mention that she can't leave. That's mentioned here, that preventing homeowners from leaving. I feel like it's matching sinking foundation. I feel like it's sinking foundation. I feel like the giant rocks might be trying to distract you. I'm gonna go with sinking foundation on this. I might be wrong, it might be cloch. But I feel like this is a trick question and it's actually sinking foundation. Denise? You've got sinking foundation. Oh no, I was wrong. Yeah, my cheer level went down to 91.9. Okay, maybe it was the clock. Maybe it was. Well, maybe I just thought I said it was a trick question. Maybe I chose the wrong way on that.
Someone stole our competition out from under us. I know it's those no-good Derricksons. They've always been jealous of us taking the annual Grand Gingerbread Master Award. Oh, rather than improve their own skills, they decided to break into our home last night and steal our post office. I found poor little postman Peter collapsing pieces on the floor, right next to a big hole with the burned remains of our post office inside. The police won't do anything. Can you come and perform a citizen's arrest?
That's a very good voice. Alright, what are we even talking about here? Someone stole our competition? Rather than improve their own... Okay, so jealous of us taking the Grand Gingerbread Master Award, rather than improve their own skills, they broke into our home and stole our post office? We found our postman Peter collapsed in pieces on the floor in the yard, right next to a big hole with the burned remains of our post office inside. So someone broke into their house and stole I guess, you're talking about gingerbread, like a gingerbread house? Did they make a gingerbread post office? And Postman Peter works there? And someone took it out to the yard, made a hole, and burned it in there? What? I guess that's what she's saying? I feel like she needs to maybe, you know, clarify certain elements of what she is saying here. Okay. Who is gonna break into your house, steal your gingerbread post office, take it out to the yard, dig a hole, and burn it? I'm gonna have to look at these entries. I can't think of any entry that might describe this. Let's see. The animations. Missing or stolen household objects. Not gonna be antler growth. Attic gnome. No. Not, maybe it's Avalanche. Maybe it was Avalanche. Bat? No. It's not going to be the bed hag. It's not going to be bed teeth. Why would Bellsnickle do this? Bellsnickle breaks in, but he might kill your pets. He's not going to steal your gingerbread post office. See, what I'm wondering is, why is something stealing the post office? Yeah, I guess it wasn't to eat the post office, because it burned the post office outside. So is there anything that likes to steal your possessions and burn them? Is it the clock? Maybe the clock did that. Closet Labyrinth, I don't think is going to do that. Common Hob? No, they clean. They clean your stuff. The Desk Hob organizes your desk. Dorcha delivers. And I don't think Dorcha cares about your gingerbread post office. I don't think it's dwarves. It doesn't sound like it. Doesn't sound like it. Elves? No, you have to be throwing a party for elves to do it. For elves to be there. It's not Fey Feast. Not Fey Flu. False artifact? Eat your children and pets, but it's not. That's not what this is. The false caroler? They don't break into your home. They might approach your home. If someone's close to them, they're in danger. It doesn't say they come into your home or burn your gingerbread. Not gonna be the Forgotten Boggart. Not gonna be Fracture Hob. Not gonna be Frost Wisp. Frozen Pipes, that's it. The gift hag? The gift hag doesn't take your things, does it? No. Hans? I don't think it's Hans. All right, maybe we have to think about this a different way. Maybe Georgia is right that it was the Derricksons. Have the Derricksons been occupied by Hans, who has instigated them to commit acts they do not condone, like arson? Arson of a gingerbread post office? It's kind of a stretch. It's a bit of a stretch. The Horde. It's not going to be the Horde. House fire? I mean, technically, yes. If we want to get pedantic, yes. It was a house fire. Someone set this gingerbread house on fire. I don't think that's the answer we're looking for. I don't think it is. This better not be the answer. I mean, if maybe it's not anything super. I mean, I guess if we want to think about it that way, maybe it's not something supernatural. Maybe Georgia is right. The Derricksons are jealous of their gingerbread skills, so maybe they really did break in, steal the post office, and burn it, which would mean it's a house fire. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about that. I feel like that is also too much of a stretch for it to be the answer. Not a spider. The Hunt? I don't think it would be the Hunt. Color blindness, physical deformations, cannibalistic desires. Nothing about burning gingerbread. Probably not a kobold. Not the lamp sprite. I don't think it's going to be the laundry gnome. Oh, okay, the locomotive's it's not going to be that. If it's a locomotive, you know it is. Lucy? She steals the warmth of warm-blooded mammals, leaving crumbled, frozen remains. Let's see. It mentioned Postman Peter collapsed in pieces on the floor in the yard, right next to a big hole. It doesn't say anything about Lucy wanting to do something like that. Unless whatever burned the post office was doing it for warmth. Lucy seems to want warmth, but George is not mentioning any slime. The mayor? It doesn't sound at all like the mayor. Memory wisp. No? This steals memories. It might be mice. It might. I mean, we know the Mouse King is up to something. It's not Mountain Warlock. Heists. A bunch of mice maybe stole the post office? But why would they dig a hole and burn it? Neighbor's doorway. No. It's not going to be Night Gnome. Not going to be Ogress. I really don't think it's Perchta. She does break in. Not going to be Pine Sprite. Not going to be Pipe Hob. Not going to be Puka. Nothing mentioned here about a pet. Raccoons? I don't think they would burn the thing. It doesn't mention breaking in either. The reanimation. Direct violence against homeowners. Foul smells, soil being tracked inside the home, large holes in the ground. She does mention a hole. Reanimations or any deceased remains of living creatures capable of moving on their own. Homeowners with reanimations commonly report foul smells, soil being tracked inside the home, and large holes in the ground appearing near or around the home. Mentions a large hole in the yard. But, I mean, it has nothing to do with fire or stealing a gingerbread post office. His red nose. It's not going to be this. The Saint? No, the Saint gives something. Well, Georgia looks kind of old. What if she accepted the Saint's gift 30 years ago, and now the Saint came back to collect its due? And its due was a gingerbread post office. Is it that? It says that they take the annual Grand Gingerbread Master Award. If you accept the Saint's gift, you get great fortune and luck for 30 years. All right, let's read this. The Saint is a warlock, sometimes resembling a bearded elderly human male adorned in thick robes, often seen riding a pale horse-like creature. The Saint is known for traveling through snowstorms at night, leaving strange artifacts on the doorsteps of homeowners. Often, the Saint's arrival is followed by the sinner shortly afterward. The acceptance of the artifacts granted by the Saint by bringing them within one's home can often result in the gift receiver experiencing great fortune and luck for a span of 30 years. After the 30-year period, the Saint will return to collect their due. It is not advised to accept these gifts. While the Saint cannot be prevented from delivering the gifts, homeowners can simply remove the gifts from their doorsteps and burn them outdoors to prevent accidental acceptance. It is, however, highly advised to wait until morning the following day to accept. Burn them out. Did someone burn it outside? Okay, so this is the only one so far we've read anything about someone burning something outside. But the thing that you're supposed to burn outside is the gift. It would be funny if it was the warlock. It would be funny. If the idea really was that 30 years ago Georgia accepted the gift, and that's why they've had such luck at winning the gingerbread competition. It's probably not. That's too much of a stretch, but it would be funny. The sinking foundation. It's not gonna be this. The sinner? Breaking into homes, devour human children. Snowstorm had passed. Chains hose. Doors win the missing children. I don't see a connection here. The snow golems. Wet floors, power outages. Don't target home heaters. Doesn't sound like anything here is described there. Sugar wisps. Maybe someone got the sugar wisp and just really wanted to eat the gingerbread? Nah, probably not. Probably not. I don't see time wisp. The Twilight? I doubt it's the Twilight. The trash gnome. Now, trash gnome lives in the trash. It doesn't come out of the trash, does it? The troll wants clothes. Warlock remnant. Whites. Not the wine sprite. Not a case of winter fur. It's not going to be wood secretions. I don't see how it would be Yule Cat. Not Yule Goat either. And this one is pretty tough. Probably the reason it's pretty tough is mainly due to the way Georgia is describing this. Because it's hard for me to follow. Again, someone stole our competition out from under us. What does that sentence mean? It's those no good Derricksons. They're jealous of us taking the Grand Gingerbread Master Award. So she's determining that the Derricksons, rather than improve their own gingerbread making skills, they broke into our home last night and stole our post office. I found our poor little postman Peter collapsed in pieces on the floor in the yard. So this is an odd sentence to me. Postman Peter collapsed in pieces on the floor in the yard. By yard, that would sound like the front yard or the backyard. The floor in the yard is a strange sentence to me. On the floor in the yard, right next to a big hole, with the burned remains of our post office inside. I can't tell where this took place. Just that there is a big hole somewhere. The burned remains of the post office are in there. Postman Peter is collapsed in pieces next to it. Yule men do break into your house. Stolen food. They could do mischief. They're harmless to human adults. I mean, I guess it could potentially be Yule men. Because they'll just, mess stuff up. They'll break into your house and mess stuff up, but they're not a threat to adults. But there's really not enough direct connection here. So, okay. After going through the list, what were we thinking? Well, nothing seemed really that much of a connection. But I think I was saying it would be funny if it was house fire. Did Postman Pete burn his post office? Did he burn his post office? And that doesn't even make sense, though. How would he burn his post office? How would he? So there's also mice, because we know the Mouse King is on the loose. But why would the Mouse King do this? Why would he do this? And there's nothing here, no description here that really matches up to what we're talking about. I was also thinking the Saint, because it would be funny if Georgia accepted the gift 30 years ago. But that just seems... Yuleman? This one, I don't know. I'm just not seeing... I'm not seeing connections anywhere. Or, strong enough connections to choose any of these. So we're going to look at everything again. Okay, starting from the top. Animations. Animations are any miniature humanoid figure such as dolls, puppets, or marionettes that are capable of moving on their own. It's animation, isn't it? Wasn't even really thinking about this. This is one of the old ones from the base game. Animations are miniature humanoid figures such as dolls, puppets, or marionettes, capable of moving on their own. Homeowners with animations most commonly report hearing clattering noises at night, missing or stolen household objects. Animations are not usually directly dangerous to humans, but will ignore them entirely as they go about their business. Their presence in a household may indicate the interest of other potentially dangerous parties. Most animations will depart or collapse on their own after completing their intended function and no further action is needed. If an animation persists for more than a few days in a single location, it may be a sign of more dangerous activity. Okay, in the base game, the animation was being controlled by another entry. I think the other entry is not in the DLC. I don't think I saw it. But there was another entry about the thing that controls the animation. The description being here is the Postman Peter doll is collapsed in pieces on the floor next to the burned remains of the post office. The animation is a doll that can move on its own. When it completes its purpose, it will collapse on its own. So its purpose was to burn the post office. Are the Derricksons practicing dark magics and cast the spell on Postman Pete to turn him into an animation with the mission to burn the post office? I feel it's also a stretch, but I feel like this feels closer than any of these other things. I feel like it is. I feel like Postman Pete was an animation. And also, Georgia, in the future, please do a better job of describing the issue, but I think you've got an animation. Our cheer level did not go down. It was animation. Man, that one was tough. Hello?
I'm not sure who else to call about this, but, something very weird is going on in our neighborhood. Some strange man in a large trench coat and Halloween mask is going around ringing neighbors' doors, carrying some kind of paper or notes. He hasn't come to my house yet, but I'm very afraid of what they might be up to. Pepper, stop scratching the door. He's going to think we're home.
Man in a large trench coat and Halloween mask goes and rings neighbors' doors, carrying a paper or a note. The cat seems upset about this.
Please hold.
We were told that the Mouse King is in disguise. And the cat is getting agitated at the presence of this strange man. I feel like the cat has to be a big hint about what it is that's happening here. So, we just went through. And for this last call, we went through every entry on this. And I'm trying to think about, did any of these entries, could they have been described as a man in a large trench coat and Halloween mask, ringing neighbors' doors, carrying a note? And I just don't think of any. I can't think of anything. I don't actually want to go through all the entries again, but when you're talking about things that go up to your door, there was, let's see. There was the mayor, but it's not wearing a trench coat, and it's not bringing a note. There was also the false carolers. They wear layers of clothing, but they're not giving you a note. They don't ring your doorbell either, do they? They approach your house but don't ring the doorbell. I feel like those are the only two of these. That actually approach the door. And the first one, the mayor, is the only one that actually, like, goes all the way up. And I'm pretty sure I don't think any of these wear a large trench coat and Halloween mask, ringing doors, and carrying a paper. So it could be the call we got from Pest Control that the Mouse King is in disguise. I mean, that has to come up at some point, right? It would be funny if the picture of the Mouse King changed at this point to a large man in a trench coat and a mask. It did not, but it would be funny. You see, it has the ability to make mice mass coordinate. So it could be like hundreds of mice in a trench coat. It could be that. I have a feeling this is where the Mouse King is coming in. Like, I was thinking about this because of the cat getting anxious and what that clue was supposed to represent. I think it's probably this. Even though the description of it is not what the call is saying, I think we have to take into consideration what Pest Control told us. I think we're going to go with Mouse King. I think it's time for the Mouse King to make his move. Huh? Cheer level did not go down. It was the Mouse King. All right, well, we know what his disguise is now. It's hundreds of mice in a trench coat wearing a Halloween mask, What is the note, though? He's going to people's houses, giving them a note? What is the note? Yellow?
I need you to send out someone to change out our locks. My mother-in-law has finally gone far enough, and I've had it with her. I don't know how, but I think she's managed to get a copy of my key to come in and leave these creepy little dolls for my kids at night. I saw that old bag myself on the security camera. It's a bit fuzzy, but I can make out those crony old arms of hers.
Okay, she can see a really old woman coming into the house and leaving creepy little dolls.
How old?
Did Gift Hag leave little dolls? Wooden idols. Yeah, okay, yeah. Gift Hag will leave makeshift dolls, wooden idols. This seems pretty open and shut. Leave creepy little dolls at night. On the security camera, you can see the old bag, the crony old arms. All right. I mean, this seems pretty easy. Maybe too easy. Maybe this one is the clock in disguise. No, it's probably the Gift Hag. Sir, you got a case of Gift Hag? And you should be grateful, sir. It could be a lot worse. Just gracefully accept the weird dolls, sir. 90%. My perfect record ruined. Let's check our email. Observatory. Oh yeah, look at that. Let's see, Daily Twilight Report 12/25/96. Phenomena sighted across all northern territories at approximately 0600 hours. Estimated proximity is around 10,000 miles, or 16,093.44 kilometers. Currently feeding. Current risk profile, very high. Increased levels of cheer spreading is highly advised. HSH Observatory. Email from Rodney. Merry Christmas! Hey, what are you doing here on Christmas, dog? Unfortunately, we both know why. I'm sorry this always falls on your plate, Becca, especially with the extra madness going on at Pest Control this year. Today's gonna be a rough one. Here's hoping to see you tomorrow, dude. We all have to thank you for this past year. Rodney. Okay. Well, day 3 is over, and that was a lengthy day, for a couple of reasons. There were some there that just took a while to mull over. All right, let's take a little break right now. I guess we're going to be going into day 4. And yeah, I mean, we've unlocked all of the entries in the database. So there wouldn't be anything new. And the base game had a final test where we could not access the database. I don't know if this game has that, or what the final thing will be to make sure the Twilight does not consume us. But we'll find out as we continue on with Home Safety Hotline. If only I chose the clock, it would still have 100%. It would still have 100%.